As you well know by now, Sparring has been released into the Horde test. This change has, as expected, released an entirely new wave of Dibbles upon the servers, as people rush to try out this new and incredibly novel mechanic. Having set out to regrow my Diablo, I encountered a few snags. But after much trial and tribulation, plus a little help with a hacking incident along the way, I was finally making some progress. I was on my way to the southern migration zone. I still had a long growth ahead, and I needed to maintain the best diet possible so that I wouldn't have to spend an excessive amount of time growing. Of course, when in south, I think we may have actually startled each other. I heard the soft rumble of the Serato only seconds before I actually spotted it. And once he stood up, I knew that I was in for a fight. Sparring mode and strafing mode are two distinctly different things. In strafing mode, you cannot attack, but you can move much the same way that you do in sparring mode, provided you continue holding down the right mouse button, or whatever your corresponding keybind is. Sparring, however, locks you into attack mode. By tapping Control, or whatever you have set as your crouch key, your Dibble takes up a defensive stance and can move at all levels of speed, from walking to trotting to sprinting. Left click while sprinting then allows you to attack normally, and right click is supposedly a block, though I've never attempted to use it. I do recommend turning sparring mode off when attacking a downed target though, and I'll explain why later in the video. Anyway, this new level of movement feels really nice. It is quick, animated nicely, and when it doesn't bug out, it feels amazing. Unlike with Stego, Diablo with sparring mode feels able to defend its young. Strafing in all directions allows for more precise attacks, as well as ensuring that those you are defending stay behind you and away from the business end of your Diablo. Speaking of Stegos, however, they continue to be a pain. As we were minding our business, attempting to eat the very few mangoes left in the West Rail Beach migration zone, a Stego that was mixed packing with Dilos decided to attack. Thankfully, we can outswim a Stego as a Dibble. But as more saltwater dinos appear, swimming becomes a greater risk at the beach. The sun rose and the Stego decided to involve himself in our affairs once more, but on a more aggressive level. Here's the thing though. I believe in the ability of Diablo to handle an adult Steg, provided the Dibble has the right mutations and knows what it's doing. Perks, such as photosynthetic tissue, give the Diablo the speed boost it needs to get hit and run headshots. And though few people use it on Dibble right now, taking less damage from larger targets is also great for battling what I still consider to be the most annoying animal in the game. Unfortunately, all the mutations in the world won't stop a pair of saltwater gators. How disappointing. It was time to get serious. I dragged Acronym back onto Dibble, determined to try some Dibble on Dibble sparring, and get a few more fights while utilizing the sparring mode. I will say this, sparring in and of itself is not very intuitive.
Ow!
There's a lot that I think goes into it, but no explanation at the current time. So much of learning to spar comes from trial and error. Luckily, when you have friends to help out, practice is only as dangerous as something coming along while you're healing off your minor injuries. As we grew, finding food and diets was an understandably difficult task. We came across a larger Diablo guarding a tree, waiting for the mangoes to fall. I was large enough that I could have probably locked horns with him, but as a smaller Diablo, I would have also likely taken heavier damage.
Oh, he's protecting the food.
Ah, I see.
Did we cut our losses?
If he comes at me, gore him.
Yes. Do we start attacking now?
No, but I'm going to threaten him just as much for that food, because I want it.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing.
There's a second one nearby.
Let's just walk away. We'll find more. And once other Dibbles come around, we can put the blame on him.
After considering our options, we decided a fight wasn't worth it, and we headed for the beach instead. There we found a bit of S diet, but we also found a Carno. Oh, those stupid Carnos. Oh my god! Like I said, this was one matchup I've been dying to try. And honestly, for what it's worth, the Carno didn't do too terribly. Sure, his Trudons helped distract us so that he could land a second charge, but even that would not be enough. I was alone.
Yeah. There's 2 Trudons. Keep your stand high. He's behind you.
Good grief.
What's your health?
I'm just gonna ignore the Trudons. Screw them. They're too much of a distraction. Come here, you. He's got Nocturnal. Yeah, I know. He's down. Woo, okay. Get out of here.
I'm just gonna let him do his bleed. Throw it on behind you.
There we go, perfect. I was a dog with a bone. I wasn't so injured that I was afraid of death, and this Carno wasn't getting away that easily.
Got him? You need help?
Nope. There's some weird glitching with sparring still, which is to be expected. Not the least of which being the strange sliding that occurs occasionally. This can thankfully be fixed by simply continuing to spar until it rights itself. A few things to note while sparring. If you're being pushed, left clicking will cause you to plant your feet and stop the action. Don't let someone push you off a cliff. Pressing spacebar, plus A or D, will allow you to strafe around the side of your opponent apparently as well. But I didn't get the opportunity to test that particular strategy. You can also hit someone from behind and shove them for the ha-ha funny if you feel so inclined as well.
You didn't know I could do that?
Sometime later, after reaching full growth, I was on my way to meet up with Tiger. My diet had been some level of horrendous for a while, and I had only just managed to get an active diet again, after being near starved and dietless for hours. Wouldn't you know it though, I happened across a pair of sados. Not just any sados either. Cav and one of his buddies.
Actually, I like Dibble, like the way it's shaped. Little bees. Alright, are you fighting the corn just the Seratos or?
Yeah.
Both of them. You're fighting.
I'm fighting them. There's nothing I can do. I have to.
Alright. Alright, good luck. I thought you said there was 3 of them.
So remember how I mentioned I'd talk more about why you should exit sparring after knocking something down? Yeah. So I realized when watching Cav's side of this fight that when I went to punish the downed Serato, my Diablo did the mock attack, not the actual punishing attack that occurs only when you're sprinting. Quite unfortunate. It did no additional damage to my target, and put me on the path to ultimate failure, as it easily left both Seratos in the fight. Anyway, the more you know. Always leave sparring stance if you knock someone down, so you can punish them properly.
Still.
They just made me vomit, now I'm in trouble. Gosh, this is really bad, I might die.
Maybe. Well, they should have a safe place to respawn with me in Islands.
Yes. Oh, apparently he can.
Oh, fun.
It's alright, it's alright. All is well, all is well.
It is fun, baby.
Oh, he made me vomit again. I need a better spot. This is not gonna do it. Guess what, bro?
Good.
I took a lot of damage doing that, though. I might just die because of it. Ah, I'm dead. In my personal opinion, now that sparring is in the game, Diablo feels much more fleshed out as an animal. Being able to interact with your own species in a non-lethal way is something I'd love to see for all playables, honestly. If the Isle is not intended to be simply a PvP battle simulator, fun little things like sparring that are available to do with friends and group members, but also useful in an actual combat situation, could potentially add a lot of depth to the game. I'd love to see more mechanics along these lines. What do you guys think about Dibble sparring, and about Dibble in general? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, I'm aware of Raptor getting its grapple ability. I'll have more on that in a future video once I get out there to test it. But based on what I've seen so far, I have some pretty hefty opinions. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like on the video. And if you're new around here, please consider subscribing for more content like this. We'll see you soon. Yeah, bro. Come on, do it. Gotcha.